Hi guys, I'm gonna make this very quick, well try to at least, and give you a bit of a short, information about my main character Galen and his background, etc. Galen was born between the two towns of Eldenroot and Haven. He was born to a butcher called Orion and a huntress called Coria. He lived a very happy childhood. His parents made him laugh, his mother taught him how to use a bow. He lived a great life, and he had a little sister called Phalina who he adored deeply. Unfortunately, tragedy affected the family, and both his parents was killed, and his sister was assumed as dead. So this caused an effect on Galen. He actually developed a bit of a hatred towards the Green Pact. He obviously followed it, well, to a degree, as in he would, eat just meat. He never harmed the forest. He was very proud of his heritage and all that. When it came to things such as eating other people, no, that was a no-go. Because to put it bluntly, when he went to find his parents' remains, there wasn't much left. So that traumatized him intensely. Galen was fortunately brought up by the temple, raised by the temple leaders, and was basically made a assistant as such, doing the work here and there, but had someone to sleep at night. But, he wasn't what you call the most devout worshipper. He, thankfully, had a point where he actually felt some happiness when he actually met Taylor, who was considered the love of his life. Well, he believed as much. Unfortunately, life is not straightforward. Moving on, again, Galen would spend a lot of time with Taylor. He would do anything and everything with her, even if he just following her around like a lost puppy. He would teach her how to use a bow and arrow. She'd teach him healing spells. Life was great, and even though the father wasn't too overly keen of his daughter spending time with a filthy savage wood elf, eventually he started to like Galen and found him quite enjoyable to talk to, especially how intelligent Galen was. And even invited him around for dinner a few times, but also trying to be respectful for the Green Pact and all that sort of stuff. Unfortunately, things didn't go always to plan. When the Legion, who in my universe of making things up, again, this is not canon in my world, this is just made up for the sake of roleplay, isn't as honest and noble as you would think they are. The Legion, wanting to get revenge on the Dominion for basically, kicking them out, basically attacked and slaughtered everyone in the village, even the temple worshippers, which is very ironic when you think about it. Burnt the temple to the ground and just killed everyone. Fortunately, Taylor and Galen got there just in time to save Fassendil, Taylor's father, and killed the Legion troops. From that day, Galen sought revenge and wanted to do nothing but kill Legion soldiers. So he joined the Dominion, and that's the darkest point of his life. He killed, he slaughtered, committed massive atrocities. Burnt down towns, burnt down villages. He didn't give a damn. He just wanted to watch the whole world burn. He wanted to watch the white gold tower crumble, and have the flag of the eagle rise above, showing that elven supremacy was the only way and all that. Because Galen used to believe in that sort of mentality. He did. Until they betrayed him. After the White Gold Concordat was signed, and he thought, it's done, I can now just retire. Nope, because the Altmeri hierarchy actually feared Galen, especially since he was such a trusted soldier to Lord Narathin, they feared he would, overthrow them. So they basically, one night before his wedding, they basically drugged him, put him on a boat, and sent him to Hammerfell. So, God knows how many days he was knocked out for. At least 2 days at the very least. He wakes up in Hammerfell, doesn't know where he is, doesn't know what date it is, no gold, no nothing, and he has to spend he spends 5 years there, doing what is necessary, fighting in the arena, fighting for combat, working for the Alakir as pretty much as a glorified bodyguard. Eventually gets enough gold and he basically leaves Hammerfell on a boat, and he gets this Alan off to find out that, well, Taylor moved on. Naturally, it's been 5 years. She can't just wait around, obviously. He gets to the house, and all he sees is just Taylor, her new husband, and what he presumes is their daughter. She's not their daughter, not his daughter, not the husband's daughter, but actually is Galen's biracial daughter, who is also called Coria. Taylor actually respected the memory of her ex-husband or ex-partner, and named the daughter Coria in memory of Coria's grandmother. Therefore, she gets her namesake from, etc. Unfortunately, Galen doesn't know this. He leaves and spends the rest of the couple of years just becoming a mercenary and doing everything to survive and get gold. Doesn't care. He gets to Skyrim. He meets Inigo for the first time. And obviously, what happens. Inigo shoots him in the head and pretty much leaves him for dead. And just shakes it off and just gets on with it. Continues fighting, working. Eventually meets up with Inigo and pretty much says, "You owe me now. Now you have to fight for me for the rest of your days, you blue bastard." After that, he just does a bit of side quests here and there. Gets some decent artifacts, does work here and there, gets some gold, invests it. Has a nice house in Riverwood because he likes Riverwood. It's nice and calm there, and he feels like it's a perfect place to just relax. Realistically. Unfortunately, things aren't straightforward, are they? He hears stories of vampire attacks and decides to make the choice to fight for the Dawn Guard. And as you know, he then meets Savannah. Now, at first, he's a bit hesitant, since, vampires have had the best sort of history in Vanewood, for example. Telboss being the main perpetrator of that sort of hostility. But something about her gives him hope, I suppose. He looks at her and goes, "There's something about you that seems right." And fortunately, it worked out in the end. Now, he never intended to fall in love with her. He never thought he'd ever fall in love with a vampire. But he did. And he loves her. He fell in love quickly. Eventually, he finds out he's Dragonborn. And then, obviously, things just go intense, goes crazy. And he finds himself in this whole situation where he's basically trusted with all this power and the ability to, permanently kill dragons. But at first, he's quite scared, to be honest. He's like, this is a lot to take in. So at one point, when the cultists attack him, he decides, you know what, I need to take a break from Skyrim, so I'm going to go to Solstheim and deal with that problem. Fights against the first Dragonborn, big deal, no big deal, right? Though, while there, he does get involved with the Black Books. He does get a bit corrupted to a degree. Fortunately enough, Savannah pulls him out of that, helps him out, says you're better than this, and brings him back down to Nern. After that, and after using the power of the Black Books for good and collecting as many of the artifacts that he can, he returns to Skyrim and then goes and deals with Alduin. Defeats him and saves everything. Obviously, there's some side quests in between that I do, obviously, such as collecting all the Dragon Priest masks, but that's beyond the point. Anyway, that's what Galen's story is. Again, it's a bit of a ramble. And most of it isn't what you consider lore friendly. Again, I don't know everything in between the events of Oblivion and Skyrim, because working out where Galen was born is the hardest part. From what I worked out, he's around in his 200s, which probably makes no sense to some of you, because But again, being an elf, he has the chance of living a bit longer. And I would always imagine he's a very a very angry wood elf, which you can imagine. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoy this little whatever this is. I hope everyone is good, and may the divines light your path. Bye, guys.